So Freedom Day, you're out. You exit the military. A lot of us have exited the military, got a ticket to fly home, and we show up at the airport and the loved ones are like, oh, you're home. And then the next day hits and you wake up bright and early. You're like, did I hear reveille? Am I waking up to what? You know, do I need a shave today? What's your thoughts?
I tell you, you talked about your partner going through a dark time, and couldn't be more true. To try to put that into perspective or context, I served 26 years in the Army, 22 of those as a Green Beret. Near the end of my service, I was actually pulled out and branch detailed to go to work for Langley. I like to think I had the confidence of my commanders. They let me go to combat 11 times. I like to think I had the confidence in my men. I never turned around and didn't find it behind me. So to go from that to literally, all right, Michael, let's go put a dent in our bed and watch some stupid Netflix or whatever we can do to get this morning back into night where I can go to sleep and it's normal instead of sleep all day. Tough stuff.
Any like intrusive thoughts hit you? And like, it's okay if you want to be a little vulnerable. It's like, are you like, you had to get into trying to save your friends.
No. So what I wrestled with was I really thought people around me would be better off without me. I wasn't wrestling with hurting myself. It was just kind of a stark reminder. It was an awkward time. I was no longer making the same money. I still had the same responsibilities. So I wasn't providing as I was. It seemed like everything I touched was just a mess. So, yeah, that's the part of it for me that if I had to sum it up, I just really felt like everybody would be better off without Michael.
Yeah. And, all of these things that you're saying, we'd be silly to say that none of us as a human have ever had these kinds of thoughts. It's like, we're only human. It's like, well, if I wasn't here, this would just be fine. And you walk out the door and maybe your kids heard you upstairs say that and you're going outside and it's impactful and you probably don't mean it. But it's those fractions of a moment that you don't mean it that is what's called an accident. It's like, I didn't mean it. It was an accident. I didn't mean it. It was an accident. And I think a lot of our friends and comrades and soldiers and seamen and airmen and everybody that out there that has served or has these thoughts, it's a normal thing, to kind of think things, but to take action on it, that's the accident. We really do want, to know you. If I don't know, I can't stop somebody, Michael, from freedom of choice. Okay. So it's like, you could have a cool tattoo and I may like that tattoo, but I'm not going to maybe put it on me and I don't want you to put it on me. That's not my freedom of choice. So if somebody wants to do something to themselves wholeheartedly, I can't stop that person from freedom of choice because I'm a big believer in it. What's your thoughts? Like, how do we get to somebody who's got freedom of choice that's sitting on the edge right now? And they're like, Rad, let him talk. Yeah,
no, that's great. What you were talking about, I actually did a PSA and it's on our YouTube channel, at Checkavet365. You could check all of our stuff out. This one is actually called Numbers. And what I do is I break down the math per each suicide and then compare it to critically administered into a hospital, emergency rooms visit, yada, yada, yada. Well, all the way down for each suicide, according to the CDC, it says there's 274 people that are stressed out enough that they consider taking their own lives. So one suicide could equal 274. So I can't say those thoughts are normal and everybody has those thoughts, but mathematically, holy crap,
Well, there's a lot of it out there, I guess you could say, with the population, it's, holy crap. And so if you're having thoughts right now and you're listening to this and maybe you're still working, driving over the road, or you're just doing your job and you're just like, geez, I do have crazy thoughts. Maybe the IRS came at you a little hard and you got to pay some heavy taxes. And you're like, death or taxes, which is worse? It's like, go check out Check a Vet. And the reason why I want to say that is because it's something that's really easy to look at. It's a website. Tell us a little bit about Check a Vet from your perspective, Michael. Why did you and Chris feel that you needed to create this space for veterans?
Right. So sometimes learning what the right way to do something is just by experiencing the wrong thing altogether. So I was a founding member and a part of a different nonprofit, and I was their national secretary. But I didn't think that approach of let's prevent veteran suicide by taking them hunting and fishing or sports events from the beginning, as the idea was floated out there, like, we're going to do something, let's do it. I think I was the only one in the room that had a little understanding of a mission statement and an operational approach to get after that. So I let everybody go around the room. There was an entertainer, a tour manager, and the likes. Right. So all of it was these events and will temporarily uplift veterans. And I was like, guys, this is stupid. It'll never work. Well, why? You're a smart guy. Why? At that time, it was 2016. There was 22 million veterans. You can't take them all to a concert.
No.
But even if you could, suicide is an ongoing struggle. Right. It is not, I just need to go to a concert and experience something cool and then I'll be all right. It's like addiction. It's like so many other things. So I founded Check a Vet, and Chris Miller actually was the first person to jump onto my board. It was a really humbling moment. I was out in Arlington burying one of my soldiers who had passed of cancer. And in that, out of respect, it's sad to think about how many times I've done that. But as protocol, when I would do that, I would always invite the commanders from 5th Group to the ceremony because right. a lot of them take me up. And this time, Colonel Connor, who was our battalion commander and actually the group commander, he did that. So I reached out to Chris. I still had his cell phone and his cell phone number and told him about Mike. And then he asked me what I was into. And so I took a deep breath. This is over text, but I took a deep breath and I told him.
Well, sir.
Well, I mean, Chris and my relationship went all the way back to 2004 when I was a young warrant officer just coming out of the warrant officer course. But I already had what I think was a pretty good reputation as an operator. So it's a good start. But he was my first battalion commander as a warrant. And I don't know what it was, but he must have saw something in me. Good mutual respect. I literally walked 100 miles in 250-mile installments for the man. And I'd do it again right now. That's just love and respect for a commander that's worth a crap.
I like that.
And then at the end, he actually asked me to go to Washington with him. And I pondered it for a nanosecond. And I'm like, sir, I need you to tell me to go to Washington with you. And he's like, no, I'm asking you. And I'm like,
no,
I need you to tell me because that's not the life I want for me or my family, but tell me to, and I'm 2 bags full, next thing smoking. And he said, no, I'm not going to do it. So I very respectfully and humbly declined. Years later, when I was working at Langley, some of our lines of operation for the mission that we were doing were crossing. So we kind of rekindled that relationship, professional and brotherly. And then really the next time I talked to him was over this text. So I was a known quantity to Chris, and I must have, still had his favor because I told him, and he replied like 2 sentences. Michael, if that's the way you're going to do it, and you're the guy who's going to do it, I'm standing by for you to tell me what to do.
Oh yeah.
Brad, I was so humbled. I cried. I mean, the guy's off-ramping as the SecDef.
Right.
And now he's waiting for me to tell him what to do. I mean,
it's
wow.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right? The guys' lives that come through, they have all these titles. And then when I'm talking to him, he's a surfer at the end of the day, the 2-star general or whoever it is. It's like, what's up, surfer general, dude, sir?
Yeah.
Right? Because there's always something underneath us. We all go, put the hat on and put the uniform on. And my dad always said, either you make the uniform or the uniform makes you. And I think a lot of you guys make that uniform. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you take it off, what else are you going to make?
That's right.
Holy cow, right? And you got to remember, when you take that uniform off, it's you that's wearing it. Mm-hmm. It's you that put that thing on. It's you that put your feet in front of the other feet to do the 250 milers. It's you that says, up in here, I tell all the young kids that come through my airsoft stores, this is your first safety. Mm-hmm. Right here. Mm-hmm. Right here. Nothing works. This machine here, this tool, without this moving this. It's this up here. This is your safety.
You're absolutely right.
That's it. And parents will look at me, oh, our kids doesn't have any education in gun safety. And I'm like, well, if they don't have that and you don't know that, then parents, this is your first safety. Mm-hmm. And don't play it on the streets because cops shoot everybody and deserve to go home at the end of the day. So right. Airsoft war games is what I'm talking about.
But Rad, it's a good, you're right. And to put that into context, I was embarrassed to wear my dress blues. It's just too much ridiculousness on there. And I say, hey, you stay in long enough. I did 11 tours in combat. Yeah, they're going to keep throwing badges and patches at me. But as I would stand in front of young guys, they would say, wow, and then it was time for me to pimp them out and to teach them exactly what you're saying. So I would say, all right, you see all of this stuff on my uniform. What is the most important thing here? And they're like, SF tab. Nope. Ranger tab. Nope. Halo jump master. Nope. 6 bronze stars. Nope. None of that crap. I said, the most important thing on this uniform is my nameplate. All of this other crap, you can go down to the clothing and sales and buy it.
Right.
Go buy it. I said,
100%.
You're not going to take anything from me, but it's my name and that's who I am. And at the end of the day, this is me. And now I'm trying to give back and help my brothers and sisters.
100%, and this is me and this is Michael and my listener and my viewer. That's you, right? So look in your mirror and say, you're cool enough. You can run your own business. You can do anything you put your mind to. And, once you take that uniform off, it can hang up in your closet. You may not fit in it ever again.
I still fit in mine.
Oh, you're good. You're good. You're good. I'm
a little baggy on me at this point, actually.
I'm 6'5" and 280. So,
that's
I'm not squeezing.
Yeah.
6'5", 280. Let's go play some football. I don't know why. My mom and dad always thought I'd break a pinky when I was little and it would never set straight. So they put me into baseball. And so I played baseball for like 17, 18. I thought that's the path. That was the trajectory was baseball, but something got in the way of that and that stopped. But I still to this day have a love for the Kansas City Royals. So I'm just going to shout them out. And you said you're in Kentucky and that's Louisville, Kentucky. And they got the Louisville Slugger in Kentucky, right?
Yeah, they do. But I'm not a baseball fan at all. But if I had to pick, I would go with St. Louis.
Oh yeah. The Cards,
please don't hate me, but I don't know. There's a cool story behind that, but yeah, if I had to pick, it would definitely be St. Louis.